Welcome to Crushing Kayfabe. My name is Jason Garish. If the audio is a little bit off today, it's because my preamp got all discombobulated, my settings. So we'll see. We'll do this run, see what happens. But if it's a little distorted, if it's clipping a little bit, that's why. So sorry about that. A lot to talk about, guys. What do we got going on, man? We had a Raw with the CM Punk appearance. Am I the only one that is noticing that CM Punk looks pretty jacked lately? I mean, everybody's come back jacked. Orton, AJ, Punk. I don't know what's going on. Are they? I'm pretty sure Punk's not using. So I don't know if it's just Triple H's influence or what's going on, man. Why does everybody look so jacked lately? We had a match with, let's see, we had Maxine, got a lot more sympathetic looking. She's definitely been putting the work in, which is good. She still definitely needs to work on her selling, Man, we had a commercial during this for the Fall Guy, for Ryan Gosling and Fall Guy. And I'm having a hard time buying him in the Fall Guy. I'm sorry. I'm old enough to remember the original show with Lee Majors. I don't picture Ryan Gosling as a tough guy. I'm sorry. It kind of he's too much of a pretty boy. Sorry, I just can't do it. I can't. I did one thing I did notice about this episode, and I'm going to briefly go over the episode. I'm not going to go match by match or anything. All of these, there's just too much going on. And the real emphasis is going to be on the pay-per-view, or PLE as they're called now. I love the reference to Jim Cornette that Pat McAfee said, grab a tennis racket, Pierce, referencing the red suit he was wearing. That was really cool. I really appreciated that, But aside from that, not a lot going on in the individual shows themselves. Like, we had Dynamite on Wednesday. I'm gonna just go in order here. The only thing I noticed about Dynamite this week is, man, I really wish Willow Nightingale was in WWE. She is such a great babyface. They're finally starting to do something with her, and Mercedes Moné. Finally, they're starting to try to build these guys up. They have to put the belt on Willow Nightingale to actually make her relevant, which is horrible. You shouldn't have had to do that. Let's see. We had Kenny Omega come back. Excuse me. Omega's looking good. He's still kind of went over his whole bout with diverticulitis and what's going on. I don't know if he was overselling that because of what happened next. Obviously, he got taken out by the EVPs and by the Elite. So I'm wondering if some of what Kenny Omega said was just kayfabe, just a worked shoot kind of. I don't want to see him endanger himself, obviously, because he took some bumps in the ring, and I'm really not sure if he should have been. That's the thing. But you got really reckless people like the Young Bucks that will do stupid things. So obviously can't trust them, which I don't know why in the world he would. I've been gaining a lot more respect for Kenny Omega, especially with his interaction between him and Punk. It seems like him and Punk are good, so I've got a lot more respect for Omega, and he seemed for a while there to be distancing himself from the Young Bucks and the whole situation. Man, in a shoot interview years from now, there's going to be so much that comes out. I don't know who in that group has signed an NDA. I mean, if AEW isn't even around anymore, would an NDA even legally be bound? Makes me wonder. But I do want to hear that down the road because, like I said, I mean, it seems like those Punk and Omega have kind of patched things up, and I'm starting to gain a little bit more respect for Kenny Omega. It makes me also wonder if he's just kind of sitting out his contract, which I kind of hope he is, because it would be nice to see him have one little run in WWE. He's getting older, and we all do. We all know. And be nice to see him get his due in WWE. You know, I'm not expecting like an AJ Styles type run, but make a little bit of an appearance and add him, even if it's as a footnote. I think he's too good of a wrestler to not get his legacy kind of cemented with an appearance in WWE. I think that would be too tragic, I think. You know, and it was a good promo from him too. A lot of people knock his promo skills. I never really had that much of a problem with his promo skills. It was primarily when he got kind of silly and goofy as a babyface that I really didn't like his promo. But he's not that bad of a promo. I don't care what anybody says, you know. But a lot of people, like I said, are speculating that he might have a little bit of a run in WWE, and I hope so. I do. He kind of deserves it, and like I said, I'm starting to gain a little bit more respect about him, primarily based on how he's dealt with the whole CM Punk situation. Man, that kind of brings us to SmackDown. The only I'm not a lot going on aside from building up for Backlash, which all I gotta say about this episode is what a crowd in France! Holy cow! Man, they were starving for wrestling. Let me tell you that much. Because they reacted. American fans need to take note. We're kind of spoiled because we have a cycle every so often. WWE comes around and wrestling comes around. We get so much going on as far as that goes that we get spoiled by it. But man, was this fan base just outstanding. Backlash, man. Backlash went on while I was at work. I had to watch the replay later, but I'm not one of those people that can bring a phone to work and have that thing going while they're working. I need to concentrate on my job and do my thing. Not to mention it's a violation of the company policies. But man, Backlash. I got home. Good pay-per-view. A solid pay-per-view. I think some. Leon is absolutely gorgeous. I love those shots that they showed of Leon outside the city and whatnot. Just beautiful, gorgeous. I was mentioning fans earlier. The only thing that was a little bit frustrating is when you hear fans chanting in another language and you have absolutely no idea what they're saying. I mean, my mom was French. She came from Maine, so my father, and she forgot a lot of what she knew when she got older as far as language, and primarily focused on English. So I know a couple of words, but other than that, it was a little bit frustrating because you hear this real just rabid fan chanting going on and have absolutely no idea what they're saying. So that was the only thing I didn't like. I do like how WWE is kind of started to excuse me break down that quote unquote forbidden door, like Triple H said. That's just ridiculous. Referencing IWGP, the Bullet Club, I'm loving this acknowledgement of other federations and things, because the only thing this does is make everything better, as far as doing that. I don't expect them to reference AEW anytime soon. They kind of backhandedly, indirectly do it with Cody because you have to. It's part of his story. But the acknowledgement of other existing federations and whatnot, I'm really starting to like that because it brings an important part of the history. Like you need to integrate the history of the Bullet Club and AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, because they're both leaders, and they're both an integral part of that, and that's where they kind of, I don't want to say made their money, but a huge part of their legacy is right there. And Cody was so instrumental, and that was such an important part of his development over there. So I'm really happy that they're starting to acknowledge that, And as a lot of us predicted during the Bloodline tag team match, Tangaloa made his debut, and the Bloodline wins, of course. I liked this win because there was some quote-unquote fuckery involved with Tangaloa interfering with the match, and I like that. I like that. It cements these guys as heels, and it makes the Bloodline look a lot stronger, and it doesn't make Owens and Orton look any weaker because of the quote-unquote loss. So that was the right way to do it, and that was good storytelling. I like that. We had the three-way match between the women for the title. Naomi ate the pin kind of as predicted. That was predictable because you don't want to stop Tiffy's momentum going into this, and you don't want to take the title off of Bayley. The only other thing that might have been expected would have been kind of a fuck finish. I hate to use that term, but I can't really think of anything else to say about it. But that's the only other way you could have kind of saved face for all these girls, because Tiffany Stratton needs to keep getting stronger, and they need to keep putting the rocket pack on her, because she is the future of the women's division. She's still a little green, but she's come leaps and bounds progress in a very short amount of time, and she's only been doing this 2 years, I think. So that's a good thing right there. I think they played their cards right there, and of course it's gonna be a good match between those three. Why wouldn't it be? We had that match between Damian Priest and Jey Uso, and I'm not the only one who said this. Why was this so much better than Jay's match with Jimmy Uso? I mean, Jay can do it. It's just, I honestly think it was Damian Priest pushing him. I think Damian Priest can be a ring general. I think so much of what he does is, at least to me, so convincing, and he puts so much more effort into his moveset and his moves than a lot of other wrestlers do. He's one of those guys that you believe when they execute a move, you believe that they're actually doing it, and it's like a lot of guys. They're smooth in the ring, they're really athletic, but when they execute moves, it just looks like a dance move sometimes, and it looks choreographed, and Damian Priest is not one of those guys. I really like his in-ring style. I like the way he executes moves. I like the way he puts his matches together. I'd like to attribute a lot of that Bad Bunny match that he had to Damian Priest, calling the shots. And this guy knows how to put on a match, and that's how he got the best out of Jey Uso. It was because it was with Priest. Otherwise, Uso, I don't see him as a top guy. I'm sorry, because I think he's just going to flounder without an opponent like Priest. And I think they're going to eventually reunite him with Jimmy to battle this new incarnation of the Bloodline. And it should be an interesting storyline what they do, because then you'll probably see the reemergence of Roman Reigns coming on as a gigantic babyface. So that'll be interesting along, let's say, further down the timeline, I should say. But yeah, this tells me that Jey Uso, he can be a heck of a singles wrestler, but I think his bread and butter is still with his brother. I really do think so, because that match between him and Jimmy at WrestleMania was so utterly disappointing and so bad. I felt like I was watching a Young Bucks match with that, super kick party, and it was not good, not good. The major thing coming out of this was the defiance of Finn Balor and JD McDonough, defying Damian Priest's orders to stay away. So I'm interested tonight on Raw to see what the fallout is from that. And that should be interesting. We're going to see some changes within the Judgment Day. I mean, with the absence of Rhea Ripley and with the segment a couple weeks back with Liv running into Dominic, where does this all leave us? So I see some shakeup within the Judgment Day. I don't see this continuing status quo the way it's been going. They announced that they had the largest gate of any WWE arena show. That's pretty cool, but doesn't really surprise me. I don't know what the attendance was. I didn't hear that. I'm sure they announced it several times and I just missed it. At one point I was watching it. I had to do something and I was watching it with the sound off. Actually, it's funny because as much as WWE's announcing team has improved, I enjoyed it more. I hate to say that. Michael Cole still gets on my nerves. He's improved immensely now. He doesn't have Vince McMahon screaming in his ear, and I give him his flowers. I give him his props. But that's the one area where I do prefer AEW's. I do like Excalibur. I know a lot of people probably think I'm an idiot for that, but I think Excalibur is one of the best play guys out there. I really do. Treats it as if it was an actual sports match and doesn't put on the yuck, as they would call it in the DJ world on the radio, yucking it up. Let's see. The women's tag match. I don't know if anybody could comment down below. Was there a language issue with Kairi Sane? Because she didn't seem to know that she wasn't the legal person within the match, and it seemed like the ref was telling her that, and she didn't seem to quite grasp it. I'm wondering. It seemed like a little bit of a botch there. I liked how they did this in the sense that one, it teams up Jade Cargill with the EST there. And two, the fact that she's in a tag team helps her develop slowly and not show how green she is. So I think this is a really smart move on WWE's part, and they're making her Cargill look like $1 million out of this, and I think it was smart to put the belt on them. But the team of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. But my question is, where do you go with Damage Control after this? Because pursuing heel for a title really doesn't do a lot for a whole lot of people. So where do you go from this point? We had the draft. Last week kind of shook some things up, but at the same time, that would have been the move to kind of put them on a different brand or do something. Or it would have been a move to break them up. It looks like they're going to keep Damage Control together. So what feud do you put them with next? Because right now the women's division is kind of thin. I really think WWE should probably start robbing from some other federations or something, because it only took like Rhea's injury, which I know is a huge injury, but to kind of show up how thin the women's roster is right now. And I know if I'm not mistaken, Camila, I should say, not Carmella. just signed with AEW, if I'm not mistaken, which I guess there's some bad blood behind the works behind that, why she didn't end up signing with WWE, but mostly because of her husband. But that would have been a huge pickup for WWE, I think, in the sense that not that it would be a big draw, because she isn't, obviously. Not too many followers of NWA know who she is. I think Nick Aldis, unfortunately, which I love Nick Aldis, and I think he's doing a tremendous job now of GMing. I think him and Pierce are the two best GMs they've ever had, and I hope they continue down this path. I think it works great. But the fact that nobody even knew who he was when he came out broke my heart, really. A lot of I understand a lot of WWE's fan base is comprised of casuals, and you need that, but shouldn't people research a little bit, know a little bit, Even if you don't watch NWA, even if you don't watch AEW, or whatever your flavor of wrestling is, WJP, know and understand what's going on. It seems like that's this generation. We've got Google, we've got the internet, and it seems like people just choose to be stupid, and not inform themselves, and that's heartbreaking. One thing I wanted to mention about this match, I don't know what that insane move from Cargo was, but please continue to do it. It brought everyone to their feet in the crowd. It was crazy, and just demonstrated Cargo's amazing strength, where she tossed was it Kairi Sane around like an absolute rag doll. That was insane. Beautiful move. New champs. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to, is it Jessica Carr, her name, being the was it the first woman ref to main event a PLE? Awesome. No, that's a great thing to see, man. I don't know if we can look at what's her name, Audrey from AEW, for breaking down some of those barriers, but I'm glad to see some of the women referees making some strides in, and the main event, just incredible camera work as always. You feel like you're watching a movie. Great stuff. Incredible camera work. And the cameras, I know the announcer said this, just some of the cameras were actually shaking. That's how incredible this crowd was, and how much bounce there was. Just outstanding. One move in this, man, when it scared the heck out of me, though, when AJ came dangerously close to the announcer's chairs, when he was power bombed through the announce table. That scared the crap out of me. Part of me, I hate to say this, part of me actually kind of wanted to see AJ win this to get another run. I really did. I know it wasn't going to happen, but I want to see AJ with another run at something. I really do. I think he deserves it late in his career, and he looks amazing. He's still putting on great matches. This match was pretty much everything that you expected it to be. I mean, you got Cody Rhodes, you got AJ Styles. Of course, it's going to be a great match. And I don't know why these morons are putting down Cody Rhodes in ring style, because it's up there with some of the best. And he can wrestle with anybody. He can mat wrestle, he can chain wrestle, he could do the high flying stuff. He can adapt his style to anybody, and it's excellent. He's perfect as a champion in that sense. So I saw some photos when he put on was it John Cena hat? I think a lot of people are now calling him Cena Cody or Cody Cena or whatever. It is kind of funny to look at the two with the physical comparisons. It was kind of cool, but hey, and they're gonna draw some comparisons between Cena and Cody Rhodes. They have very similar personalities in some ways, and they have that mass appeal to kids. I just hope the audience doesn't turn on too early. I know a lot of people are already, which is sad. It's just stupid. People, I don't know. I don't know what people expect. I don't know what wrestling fans are looking for, but you can't do much better than this guy as a champion. Unfortunately, we are completely out of time, so I'm going to give my plugs now. Check us out on crushingkayfabe.com, crushing with a K. Check us out on Patreon, please. $1 a month for crying out loud. Who can't afford $1 a month? And it helps us out immensely. We can put keep the lights on, keep everything going. Today I had a computer issue, and stuff like that scares the heck out of me, because if I need to buy a new computer, if I need to buy a new digital audio interface, need to buy a new microphone or anything, that puts me behind a lot, and might even delay the show a lot. So that's why, I keep plugging the Patreon thing, because it puts money directly in my pocket, and I should say not in my pocket, but puts it in Crushing Kayfabe's pocket, puts it in the business's pocket, so that we can recirculate that into things like cameras, like lights that add to the production value and add to the general quality of the show. So yeah, patreon.com. Check us out there, please. $1 a month, you can get all the shows ad free, and I think that's a pretty good deal. If you're in the Western Tennessee area, go check out Then and Now. We've got some stuff there for sale from my wife and myself, and a lot of other great vendors. I know the owner of that just recently did an outdoor flea market event, which was part of the Teapot Festival in Trenton, and that was really cool. So, mad props go out to her. That's really cool, because she deserves it. She's hardworking. She's a great person. So check them out. Then and Now, downtown Trenton, in the square. You can't miss it. Just look for the sign. It's right across from the courthouse. Other than that, prayers going out to Israel, going out to the Ukraine, and God bless, and thank you everybody for watching.